Tonight, a worldwide exclusive. Siegfried and Roy were masters of the impossible, combining mind-blowing illusions with exotic animals. But what happened on stage 1 year ago was not an illusion. Roy, bitten and dragged off stage by one of his beloved tigers. Tonight, exclusive interviews with eyewitnesses.
There was blood everywhere, everywhere.
Roy was slashed by his own tiger across his neck.
And never before revealed details from Roy's doctors.
He was dead on our table in the trauma bay.
He is in critical condition.
The world tuned in to the beginning of that story.
It was the most frightening experience in my life.
But until now, has never heard the rest.
Roy, what do you remember about the accident?
Tonight, an intimate look at his against all odds recovery.
Look at you, that's great!
You're doing it, Roy!
Roy Horn talks for the first time about that night and his life today.
You want people to believe?
There's hope.
Siegfried and Roy, the miracle. And now, Maria Shriver.
It's called the Las Vegas Strip, a 4-mile stretch of neon spectacle in the heart of the Nevada desert. It's here that two German immigrants, known around the world simply as Siegfried and Roy, created the longest-running show this town has ever seen, and in the process, reinvented America's taste in entertainment. But last October, a freak accident on stage nearly cost Roy his life and closed their famous show forever. As you will hear tonight, this last year has been quite a journey for both Siegfried and Roy, one filled with its share of sadness and pain, but far outweighed by its inspiration and miracles.
Siegfried and Roy. They were masters of illusion, creators of the impossible, performers of the spectacular. Show after show, night after night, for 44 years, Siegfried and Roy captivated audiences around the world. Almost 30,000 performances went like clockwork. 40 million people wowed. But no amount of planning, order, or discipline could ultimately control what happened last fall.
Roy, what do you remember about the accident? Do you remember what happened that night?
A lot of things. First of all, I was stunned like everybody else.
You were stunned.
Of course I was stunned.
On October 3rd, Roy's 59th birthday, something went terribly wrong.
That's what all the thing happened. And usually Roy introduced Manticore to the audience.
This is Manticore.
It was an accident that ended an era. The curtain fell forever on two legendary entertainers whose exit was as dramatic as any illusion they'd ever performed.
A finale, you know, I always said you have to end with a bang. The finale was a big bang.
Roy, do you miss doing your show every night?
I miss my audience.
You miss the audience.
They give me power.
But long before they became the two men who reinvented magic for the big stage, they were two lost boys whose dreams and talents were born out of the chaos of post-war Germany. Siegfried Fischbacher and Roy Uwe Ludwig Horn both grew up with fathers shattered by war who turned to alcohol. Their sons, in turn, created lives of intense fantasy to escape the difficulties at home. By 8, Siegfried was studying magic, enchanted by its effect on others.
The first time I really got attention with my father was when I showed him my first magic trick. He said, "How did you do that?" And that was magic to me.
400 miles north, a young Roy found his magic in animals, and while volunteering at the zoo, bonded with the cheetah he later adopted.
My idea was not to become a magician. My idea was just to basically run away from home.
It was aboard a steamship in 1959 that a 15-year-old bellboy, Roy, met a 20-year-old Siegfried, who was working as a steward by day, magician by night. One evening, Siegfried asked Roy to assist him on stage. In that move, magic was made.
They say, "Could you do this, what you did with this rabbit? Could you do this with a cheetah?" And I said, in magic, anything is possible. And I think that was the beginning of a team.
Once that cheetah came out of the trunk, instead of a rabbit out of a hat, there was no putting a lid on this act. They hit the road, playing club after club, crisscrossing Europe with their cheetah in tow. But it was in a 1970s America, in a growing city of neon, that these two wandering magicians finally found a home. They staked their claim on the Las Vegas Strip, and with the debut of their multi-million-dollar show at the Mirage, changed the course of entertainment history.
5 minutes, please, ladies and gentlemen. This is your 5-minute call.
To be Siegfried and Roy was a full-time job. For the sake of their craft, their illusions, and their lives, these Vegas wunderkinds dedicated every moment of their waking hours to a near fanatical pursuit of perfection.
Places, please, ladies and gentlemen. This is your places call. In 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, Siegfried and Roy.
I think what we put on stage, it was everybody's dream.
Forget the magic wands, hats, and rabbits. This was magic to boggle the mind.
Siegfried and Roy had ideas for illusions that no one, forget about never having done them. No one had ever even thought of these things.
It was a supersized spectacle, and everything about it was big and over the top. From the vanishing elephant to the smoke-belching dragon to those unbelievable codpieces they wore. It was a cat pack to rival any rat pack.
When you go to New York, you see the Statue of Liberty. When you come to Las Vegas, you see Siegfried and Roy.
They are bigger than life. They are this thing known as Siegfried and Roy. They really are. They walk around with wild animals standing next to them. They live that way. They breathe that way. They are those men.
I always said, my life is the show, and the show is my life.
But with that amazing show over, life still goes on for these remarkable men, who tonight will speak out together for the first time.
It's been almost 1 year since the accident. Tell me what this year has been like for you.
I live every day as a camp, because tomorrow is given to nobody. But I see the future. I see the light on the end of the tunnel.
When we come back, a moment-by-moment account of what happened on stage that fateful night.